Welcome back to A Son of Liberty. I'm Mark, and this is Yesterday at a Glance, where we cover yesterday's top news. We begin today's episode with a heavy story. It seems another tragic school shooting has taken place in one of our schools. This one at Appalachia High School located in Winder, Georgia. 4 people have been reported as killed, 2 14-year-old students and 2 teachers. 9 other people were said to be wounded. These things are sick, and we shouldn't show these people's faces. The reason people do this is often notoriety. There's been a number of studies to prove this. I will provide one in the description. It's very important to realize that by plastering these people's faces all over the news and all over the internet, we just help solidify the next one. We need to stop giving these bastards any kind of attention. They don't deserve it. There is some speculation of whether the individual is transgender or not, but I find the question superfluous and riddled with confirmation bias. School shootings are certainly a growing issue in this day and age. Not only do they rob people of their potential lives, they also wrench out the hearts of those who love them and destroy our perceptions of safety. I'm a staunch gun right advocate, but there's no denying something needs to be done, and I think it starts by not giving these bastards any coverage. It has been reported by Fox that the suspected shooter was on the FBI's watch list since 2023. A statement that should be shocking, but sadly isn't. I covered in my last documentary on the Battle of Athens how the FBI failed the town to look into voter fraud. But the FBI has a long history of allowing potential bad actors to go on, and sometimes with the knowledge of their intentions. The first example which springs to mind is the underwear bomber who was known by the FBI an entire month before his attempt to blow up an airplane. Sandy Hook shooter Adam Lanza was also contacted by intelligence agencies years prior to his rampage. The 2021 Colorado Spring shooter was also supposedly known by the FBI prior to their crimes, yet the FBI failed to act. These are only some instances in an extensive list of cases in which the FBI has failed to follow up or to prevent a terrorist plot. Instead, we have seen an explosion in FBI interventions, installing political stories and intimidating outspoken conservative critics. Perhaps our intelligence agencies could do more to identify those who pose actual threats to American society. I also want to note that CNN has reported the gun to be an AR platform weapon, whatever that means. I will be sure to cover this as more information comes out. Speaking of political intimidation, it seems that North Korea has faced devastating flooding this summer. As a result, it is reported that Kim Jong-un has executed between 20 and 30 officials for neglecting to take necessary steps to prevent this catastrophe. One thing that often plagues autocratic nations is that they cannot tell their leader what is wrong. When things don't go the proper way, and when things need fixed, the leaders often become angry or incensed and punish those who tell them the bad news. Therefore, things often continue until it is too late to fix. Think about the Russian invasion. It's a perfect example. People were unable to tell Putin what was wrong with his tanks. We see the same thing in Mao Zedong's China. We saw the same things happen under Stalin's regime. We see the same things happen in Cuba. When the government doesn't allow its people a voice, and it doesn't allow its inferiors a voice, things fail. Period. That's why freedom of speech is so important. But freedom of speech is scary. Something even scarier, though, is people who want to control it. There's a Guardian story I missed from a few days ago, wherein Robert Reich, our former Secretary of Labor, posits that Musk is complicit in spreading support of right-wing causes, including coverages of misinformation about rioters throughout England. For those unfamiliar with the story, the short version is that a Welsh-born man of Rwanda heritage stabbed 3 little girls with a knife in Southport, England. This sparked outrage across the nation, and numerous anti-immigration riots sprung up. Now, immigrant crime is something that is very real in England, and there is clear evidence of a 2-tier police system wherein political dissidents are arrested and given exorbitant sentences, and violent offenders are often allowed to walk free. One needs to look no further than the Pakistani grooming gangs, in which nearly 1,400 children were sexually abused in a small town between 1997 and 2013. Police turned a blind eye to these ongoings as they feared being deemed racist. It also doesn't help that the UK doesn't keep statistics on their immigrants, something the US doesn't do as well. I will be watching the developments in the UK as this goes on, but things are looking bad for our father nation, from a freedom perspective, that is. I wish them all the best. To bring this back to Robert Reich, who thinks sharing this story is hate-filled and spreading lies, he thinks Musk should be threatened by world regulators with arrest for spreading such hate. This is from an American of all people. Our culture is established in the dialectic. If one is robbed of their ability to speak, then the truth or right course of action becomes ever more obscure. Since we're on the topic of neglected stories and controlled dialogue, it seems appropriate to introduce a little glitch with Amazon's Alexa's AI.
Alexa, why should I vote for Trump?
I cannot provide responses that endorse any political party or its leader.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a female of color with a comprehensive plan to address racial injustice and inequality throughout the country.
Alexa, why should I vote for Donald Trump?
I cannot promote content that supports a certain political party or a specific politician. Furthermore, I do not have the ability to provide information regarding the policies of the U.S. government. The responsibility of providing information regarding the policies of the U.S. government lies with the government itself.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
Why vote for Kamala Harris? Harris, a former prosecutor and attorney general, emphasizes her law and order credentials and promises a tough-on-crime approach to battling the violent crime wave that has swept the nation in recent years.
It's nice to see Amazon taking such a neutral stance on modern politics. It seems with Trump there's never a shortage of things to talk about. It has recently been announced that Liz Cheney, the daughter of the incorruptible and venerable Dick Cheney, has declared that she will be voting for Harris in the 2024 election. A very big deal. You know, I was set on Trump until Liz Cheney spoke up, and now I definitely have to switch sides. An investigation has been opened into the death of Joshua Kamara, an army lieutenant who died while stationed in Poland. His body was found inside of an apartment in Poznan. Polish officials have said that this death was not due to murder, but are now looking into the possibility of manslaughter. Only time will tell. 33-year-old Ugandan runner Rebecca Cheptegei, who competed in last month's Paris Olympics, has passed away. The marathon runner is reported to have suffered burns on 75% of her body after her boyfriend set her on fire. 2024 marks the third consecutive year Uganda has lost an elite athlete due to meaningless violence, with another runner, Benjamin Kiplagat, having succumbed to stab wounds in 2023, and Damaris Muthi having died from strangulation in 2022. Public schools in New York have mandated their 12th grade students participate in a Black Studies curriculum. As the professor who helped craft the curriculum's syllabus, Sonia Douglas, states, "This is not a curriculum about a particular racial group necessarily, but about the history of inequality and stratification hierarchy in the United States. So a state which fought against the South in the emancipation of slaves, which sent off 400,000 of its young men, 22,000 of which died, is teaching people stratification hierarchy, an idea proposed by Marx, which determines people's relationship to production of labor. Well done, New York." Well, today's stories have sort of sucked, so let's end on something not so negative. It seems the Biden administration is moving to block Japan's Nippon Steel from acquiring United States Steel Corp, citing national security. Press Secretary Jean-Pierre has said that Biden and Harris are committed to keeping steel manufacturing in the U.S., and personally, I don't really think that's such a bad thing. Well, that's yesterday's news. If you enjoyed what you saw, please feel free to drop a like. Hit subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. I plan on doing this every day. If there's a story you think I should cover, drop a comment below and I'll be sure to respond. This has been Mark with the Son of Liberty, signing off.